There's no way to soften the blow of the news that I have to share. My brave Marine came to rest in November. And I've been spending the holidays recovering. Well, you don't recover overnight from such a thing. But I've been actively doing what I can to grieve and also to celebrate for both he and myself. My thoughts have been with you as well, my viewers, because you've been following me on this journey. And I'm so protective, even of you, that I don't want you to carry my pain. But I knew I needed time before I could be in front of the camera again. So those of you who have been following me, I'm sure noticed my absence for 2 months. But it's a new year, and I've been looking forward to this day when I could finally present myself in front of the camera again. I want to say to you, welcome to the Phoenix years. There's one thing about dealing with someone with a long-term illness, is you can prepare as much as you want for when that moment's going to come. So even before my husband passed, I knew that when that day came, the only way to help keep myself grounded was to create the term the Phoenix years for me. That once he was gone, I was committed to my Phoenix years. And he knew this, and he was all on board with it. So, welcome to the Phoenix years. See, the thing about it for me to be protective of you is that I've had 2 months to grieve and to work through a whole host of emotions. And lucky for you, I haven't stopped using art as a way to deal with those emotions. So in future videos, I'll be able to share that with you. But I feel like I have to give you now a moment to grieve, and that it's harsh to be like dropping the bomb of the news and then being like, so, oh, this is what we're going to do today. But you're watching a video that you can pause and take a moment and catch up. As you can see, there's a new setup. I have some freedom now with space. And I've always loved our living area because of the windows and all the light, the natural light that filters in. And we have that wood stove in the corner, which is important during the winter. In the summer, I'll think nothing of it. So there had been a lot of planning of how to do this, because this is still my home, not a studio. So I am committed to make this work. This kitchen island that I bought, I'd like to share this, that I saved up enough points that I bought it, but I didn't pay a thing for it because I had enough points through my credit card. Anyway, I'm always proud to announce when I can be frugal. I needed something with enough space for me. I didn't want to settle for something small, and because it's still my home, I wanted it to be on wheels, and it fits perfectly against that side wall. With the leaves of it down, it becomes very narrow and becomes like a buffet table against the wall. However, it does mean I have to have a bit of commitment when it comes time to recording, because as you can see, there's a little bit of a setup. But as I progress, I'm learning little ways to keep things intact, so it's just kind of a plug and play. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. I have the overhead camera set up. Let's see. There it is. But it's the first Sunday of 2026, and I never stopped my gratitude Sundays that I've shared with you. That practice helps keep me grounded. I've said this before, the days can blur when you're in the middle of caregiving, and that's been so helpful. And this is the other thing I want to share with you, is that I have always been about laugh at life, laugh a lot, that life can be crazy. And I've shared my story of caregiving, how I've been a caregiver. And I want you to know that the mission is the same, that no matter what battle you're going through, my story is about how creative self-expression is not a luxury. It's something very important, because what you do for self-care helps you deal with whatever that battle is you're dealing with out there. So the channel, even though I am now referring to it as the Phoenix years, is still the same. It's still about the importance of creative self-expression, and however that looks like for you. Dancing, cooking, sewing. For me, art journaling, illustration, the fine arts, the visual arts. I always struggle to remember that for some reason. The visual arts, as opposed to the performing arts. I have to get used to this new setup. But I'm taking you along on the journey with me. So the story of caregiving doesn't stop, because now it switches to recovery for the caregiver. And based on experiences I've had within the past 2 months, recovery for a caregiver is no joke. It's a real thing. It's what my therapist gets paid for through the VA to help me recover from caregiving, dealing with loss, finding my own identity again. What does that look like when I don't have to suddenly see if he is okay? Sleep is a beautiful thing. I sleep well. The first couple of weeks I didn't. My body was still on alert, and I woke up at times when I knew I'd normally have to wake up for him. But slowly over time, I'm sleeping through the night and allowing myself during this period of recovery to sleep in if I want to, or to not get out of bed right away because I don't have to. So I'm excited to bring you along on this recovery process. Yeah, there'll be a lot of sharing moving forward. So I'm just assuming that as I move forward with you and we get back to some creative projects, you will hear some of the stories and struggles. So here are some plans to let you know. Now that I have this space here to work at, which, let me tell you, if I'm not doing projects, it's even awesome to fold clothes on. It's just so nice to have a workspace bigger than what I used to use in that little room. So when I'm not recording, all this is put away and I have a beautiful flat table. And even if I'm just sitting and journaling with a cup of tea, I can position this any way I want to. Most times I have it facing that way out the window. So I have, it's really like a bridge. I think of like the bridge of Star Trek. This is my Phoenix Bridge Command Center, and I can sit here and journal, read, illustrate, and look out those windows, watch the birds on the suet, see who's coming and going. It's beautiful. When I'm in this position with you, these shelves behind me, they currently have the entertainment collection that my husband and I had amassed. But truth be told, it was more for my husband than myself. And in this day and age, we do so much streaming or on demand that the goal is to create this into a rainbow supply wall. Picture this, if you will. Rainbows starting red, orange, yellow, green, blues, purples, and having supplies by colors. We all know that when our ephemera and supplies are hidden away, it's difficult to create. But when you walk into a craft supply store and you see everything out, those creative juices get going because you see the stuff and you want to make stuff. So I plan to red scrap papers, red fabrics, red beads, orange, yellow, paints, maybe markers. I haven't decided on the markers yet. You can help me make that decision later. But also, I want to gear it seasonally, because if I had set it up for Christmas, I would have put out my Christmas-specific papers and stickers or fabrics. That is the plan for all this. So, part of the recovery process, of course, is honoring your loved one, but at the same time, moving forward, creating the space for yourself, or for myself, and knowing that it's okay. My husband does not live in the movies. He and I have memories of enjoying these movies. He lives in my heart. The VHS DVDs gotta go. I'm gonna keep a few that mean a lot to me. But the rainbow wall coming to this studio soon, I hope. Yeah, there's a lot of the biggest hardship is medical equipment. I still have a room full of medical equipment, hospital bed, walkers. Anything that had to do with caregiving right now is in that room, door is shut. And it's amazing because I reach out to places, but because of insurance laws, a lot of places can't take the equipment in case something's wrong with it. And I know there's people out there that can use this equipment. So if you are local and watching this, leave a comment, because I'm reaching out to find ways to pay it forward. And if I can't pay it forward, then I will explore Facebook Marketplace, which is not a place I enjoy. So Just telling you right now. But yeah, the goal is to regain that space, and that is going to become Laughsalot Studios resource room. It's going to be a dedicated space. I have a podium I've been looking forward to setting up in there, facing out the window in there, that's going to be the photo reference picture book kind of area where I'm going to put all my magazines and photo references and books that I keep that inspire me, and that'll be the place where I can sit and look out the window, and if I'm looking for stuff to clip out of a magazine, that's going to be that one wall. The other wall is going to have a dedicated space for my manual die cutter with all the metal dies organized. And on the opposite wall, I went thrifting recently. Shout out to Cherie. And picked up the most fabulous, reasonably sized, reasonably priced postal sorting desk. It is as beautiful as you're imagining. With all the little cubbies and a nice little space to work. There will perhaps be new video segments called Today at the Sorting Desk. I don't know, but that's going to be my resource room. It needs new energy. The caregiver hospital medical equipment room will need a smoking of sage maybe, and a redesign becoming Laughsalot Studios resource room. So as you can see, as part of the process of healing, my mind has been creating. That's who I am. It's what I do. Well, guys, I don't know if I should split this up into a couple of videos, but the reason I set this up is because it's Gratitude Sunday, and I need to close out 2025. So that's what I'm about to do. I may end this video here and just restart a second one. Let this one be the breaking of the news to you and the proof of life. I'm still here. You're catching me at a good moment. I go through every range of emotion dealing with the loss. One that's fun to share is the anger emotion, because my sweetheart, he's resting. I can tell you about the chock full of nuts can, because that's funny. He's not staying there forever, but he's at rest, has moved on, but I'm still dealing with fallout. So caregivers, prepare yourself, because the work is not done after they're gone. There's paperwork or medical bills, or the EOBs, the explanation of benefits, keep coming in for that last moment. Yeah, and there's a lot of bureaucracy that still has to be managed. And sometimes you find yourself in the thick of it and you just want to move on. Like, look, the caregiving's over. The suffering is over. It's time to move on. But the paperwork and all that stuff keeps pulling you back in. So, yeah, there's some fun anger emotions that happen. The chock full of nuts can. My husband, always a simple woodsman, and his desire was to be cremated. No big to do. You either had a relationship with him while he was alive, or there was no coming to see him after he passed. So there has not been a big to do. It's been a private ceremony. I won't even call it a ceremony. It's just been a little private viewing, cremation, but he wanted his ashes put in a chock full of nuts can. There goes my audio. So there he sits for the time being with his favorite baseball cap on. But he wants to be spread on the property. This is the property he grew up on and has worked for years. And so he just spread my ashes And I said, well, sweetheart, what do you want me to do with the chock full of nuts can after your ashes are spread? He said, recycle it. I'll be dead. I don't care. And let me tell you, that phrase that he said to me quite often when I asked him things, the I'll be dead, I don't care, has been very helpful when it comes to moving on, to know that he had that mindset. I think that comes with being a Marine veteran of the Vietnam War and seeing the things he saw that I don't even want to imagine. So he was just very okay with it. So sometime when the weather is nicer, I'm going to have a barbecue. Like he and I always love to have our little outdoor barbecues, and people will be welcome to come. Not the general public, sorry. By invitation only, to help spread his ashes. And then I'll ceremoniously recycle the can. Don't know. The absurdity of life. Laugh at it, laugh a lot. Wow. The absurdity of life. Just as I'm about to sign off, the camera's battery dies. All right, guys. Laugh at life. Laugh a lot.